All right, so this is a story about a four-plex that I just purchased, put into my portfolio. Tenants are in place. In a different video, part number 2, we will be breaking down the numbers on this deal. Now, I talk a lot about how I don't use any credit, and that is true, okay? That is 100% true. There's no credit used. Nobody, my partner, my wife, nobody uses credit on these deals, which is amazing. So absolutely no credit. I don't have to have credentials. What are credentials, guys? They are a W-2. I could be a 1099 salesperson. I could be a real estate agent. In this story, you will hear that there is cash used. It's just that it's none of my cash. None of my cash was used for this deal. But the main objective of this video is to answer these 7 questions. Why would the seller let us take over, which is a Subto deal that has a 2.9% interest rate? Guys, we are heading into 2024 right now. Interest rates right now, if I went down to Bank of America, Chase, Loan Depot, Rocket Mortgage, I'm probably getting an 8 to a 9% interest rate as an investor. And as a homeowner, I'm probably getting a 6.5 to a 7.5% interest rate. How are we getting 2.9%? Well, subject to. This strategy we're going to talk about also works in every market. Up, down, left, right, doesn't matter what's going on in the market, you'll be able to get those types of deals. So what we're gonna do is let Andrew answer the question of why would the seller do that? The guy was struggling, that was his pain and motivation. He was struggling in another business. He's like, I need to sell this, get that money and move into the next thing.
Yeah, he can make way more return or money on his business, so he was taking the money to reinvest.
What was his business?
Jewelry business.
Really?
Yeah, so he's looking to stock up on some things before the holidays and turn those and make a profit.
Okay, so you heard from Andrew, the seller did this because he has a business that makes him a ton of money. This business is a gold business. You've probably seen these driving around town. It says, we buy gold. Abraham Gray, one of my good friends, used to own a gold business. He made $100 million in this gold business. And so the seller of the four-plex has a gold buying business, and he wanted to buy a ton of gold before the holidays so he could sell it to people before Christmas came so they could buy their loved ones gifts. So the seller says, look, I've got a cash flowing fourplex. I love the interest rate, but I really, really want $50,000 to be pulled out of this deal. And the seller knew he wanted that money. So what he did is he hired one agent. This happens all the time. This is one of the greatest opportunities in real estate. Agent gets fired. Why? Because the agent couldn't sell the property. Hires a second agent, that agent gets fired, and now the seller is super motivated. So when Andrew reached out to the seller on the expired listing, this is where this comes in. When he reaches out on the expired listing, it took him one day to get the seller under contract. Andrew himself made $21,000 assigning the deal to me. The next question that we're gonna be answering is, how long did it take for Andrew to get started in creative finance? Was this an expired listing?
Yes, same day. 2 years in as a listing agent, we're closing 5 assignment creative Subto deals just off the same day canceled expireds. 61K over 5 deals.
Okay, so Andrew's saying he's done 5 deals in 30 days. That's crazy. He also said that his average deal is taking him about 3 to 6 hours of work.
I set up a search to myself, canceled, expired, from here on out every day. The canceled listings come at 8 o'clock at night, and then the expired listings come at 3 o'clock, 2 separate emails. Then I spend about an hour every morning going into Vulcan 7, loading them and scrubbing them and just making sure they're the ones. I can't call all 40 usually in the first 30 minutes, so I cherry pick the ones that have low equity or almost all equity, because I'll go after carries as well, or I'll just pick the ones like geography wise, and I always approach it as I'm buying first. Like, I'm looking for a deal for me, and if it doesn't work for me, I'm going to assign that. In my worst case scenario, if neither of those two work, I'll list the property.
If he's made $61,000, he's done 5 deals, that means each deal has made him roughly, let's just say $12,000 plus. And if every deal has taken him 3 hours, that means he's making roughly $2,000 to $4,000 per hour that he's worked here. Why won't most people do this? Most people won't do this because here's what it takes for Andrew. Andrew, he gets a new list and he spends 3 hours prospecting every single day. And he typically gets 1 to 2 deals under contract. That means $12,000 a week. Now, if he prospected in other cities, he could be making $25,000 a week or $75,000 a week or $125,000 a week, just depending on. He's only calling typically 30 to 40 people per day during that 3-hour time span, and he's making $61,000 in a 30-day time frame. I want to cut in here while we're making this video and let you know that we have the Squad Up Summit coming up. Go to squadupsummit.com to join. I'm going to tell you why you should be coming. You should be coming in and learning creative finance, creative deal structure, creative lending, creative paperwork, all the things that creative finance is changing the game with. My community is coming out. Subto, Astro, Gator, Vina Jetty's community, top tier transaction coordinators are coming out. All the people that do the creative finance paperwork, yeah, you're gonna meet them there. So if you feel like you're an island out there, like maybe you've read this book, right? You've read Wealth Without Cash. You're like, okay, what next? Cool. Well, now you know what you can do. You know what's possible. But who's going to help you get through it? You've got to meet some of my leaders in the community, and the best place to meet them is at the Squad Up Summits, April 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Orlando. I want to see you there. I'll be out there hanging out, some of the best speakers. I'm going to be the main real estate speaker. Jamil's going to be the main real estate speaker. We'll have Vina Jetty and some other people, but it's actually going to have a lot less speakers than most events. While everybody else is trying to cram speakers and give you way too much information, we're going to be building your business live. We're going to be giving you homework right there live. We're going to be guiding you through it, so when you walk away, you've actually built something, you've done something, and you've squad up with powerful leaders in my community that we've been building for years. Go to squadupsummit.com. I can't wait to see you April 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Orlando. Get back to the video. I asked the question of what are you going to do with your money? And the question that I came up with was, well, man, you've got $61,000. Where is that going to go? First step they're going to do is they're going to invest in the top tier TC community. Why? Well, because when he did the transaction, he ended up having somebody amazing do the work for him. They looked at this and they said, wow, what an amazing way for my wife to learn how to do the paperwork for other investors. Pace created an addition to a Subto community called Top Tier TC, Top Tier Transaction Coordinators. So one of the first things they're doing is they're investing a few $1,000s into the Top Tier TC education, gaining that skill, gaining that access to that level of education. And then number 2, they want to reinvest and they want to start buying some of their own passive deals with that $61,000. Now, one thing that Andrew said is he said, I was looking for jobs right before he learned creative finance. And so I imagine they're going to use some of that $61,000 to pay some bills, pay for Christmas, holidays, those types of things. But he's also going to reinvest, which I love. He's not just going to go blow that money. He's going to reinvest into some real estate and reinvest in some skills to empower his wife and her skill sets. In Maricopa County alone, we have anywhere between 700 to 1,100 new expired listings every 30 days. So what does that mean? That means somebody like an Andrew or somebody like you has 700 to 1,100 highly motivated sellers who just fired their real estate agent, just like the seller. Here's the seller living in the house. Seller hires the agent. The agent can't sell the property because the seller either wants too much money or there's not enough equity. They then get fired. These listings become expired. Where do we get these lists? I teach my students to pair up with other students who are licensed. So if you're in the Subto community, you'll go, let's say you're in Arizona, right? This would be easy for you because you already know Andrew's in Arizona. So you as a Subto student would go to Andrew and say, hey, can I call the expired listings that you have and we can team up on these leads? I can double down and I can help out with that 3 or 4 hours worth of prospecting that you do every single day, and I'll do it in Arizona. Now, if you're not in Arizona and you don't know Andrew, what you could do is you could go to Texas or Florida or North Dakota or South Dakota, and you can find Subto community members inside of the Subto community that have access to the MLS, and they will give you the list of expireds. If you guys want a little bit more information about expired listings, my wife Laura and I have been doing expired listings for 9 years. It does not matter if it's 2023, if it's 2020 with COVID, if it's 2027 and AI is taking over the world, expired listings will be a very powerful strategy. I want to give you guys a free training down below that my wife did. How experienced was Andrew before he started with the expired listings? Andrew had 0 experience in creative finance before he joined Subto. He said once he joined Subto, he started listening to my seller calls. He said within 30 days, just 30 days of taking action, it all comes down to what you're willing to put in, and are you willing to put in 3 hours worth of work every day in order to make basically $2,000 a day for the entire month of whatever month it is right now. So that leads into the next question. Who did the paperwork? Who did run the transaction? If Andrew had no experience, here's who ran the transaction, a top tier TC. So if you are trying to do creative finance deals, reach out to the top tier TC community. This is a community that is inside the Pace universe. It is led by my head of operations. Her name is Molly. She is my head TC and actually my operations manager. Molly and a gal named Shelly ended up doing this transaction and running the paperwork. So Andrew didn't even need to know how to fill out the paperwork, how to do the transaction, how to flow through, how to do the Subto deal, because we built a community of bad in top tier TC. How did Andrew learn this strategy? How did he learn what he's doing today?
My first assignment was a deal or two before yours. I had like 1 or 2. And then they all just boom started. I didn't understand wholesaling either really, but I've been listening to Subto every day. That's like, I just listen to a module every day. That's like my homework every day when I'm in the car at night. It's been such an amazing month. Like we were just, 2 months ago, we were no deals in pipeline, like, all traditional. And then pop.
Subto community, right? Inside the Subto community, I focus a lot of my time and energy doing seller calls. I have over 1,000 seller calls that I have done to expired listings, foreclosures, etc. And so Andrew ended up learning this strategy inside the Subto community. So what's great about this is I'm going to take Andrew and we are going to create an expired listing badge. Now, what you'll start hearing about a lot more in my community is you'll hear about badges, okay? Badges are cool little ways for our community members to learn a topic, a specific topic, for 12 weeks straight, get a certification and a badge, much like a merit badge. So not only do my community members learn Subto and seller finance and novation agreements and all of these strategies, they learn for 12 weeks how to go and work live expired listings with homework and tests and follow-up and all of these things to ensure that they get expired listing badges based on actually passing not just written tests, but physical tests of doing the work itself. We force people into taking action. So if you're one of those people that says,
I need to take action and I don't know what to do, I need somebody to babysit me,
maybe joining the Subto community is something that will help you bridge that gap. Hopefully this is helpful. We will do more expired listings training. If you guys want us to do a lot more expired listing training, please make a comment down below. Please let us know how we can help you in your journey. And if you're in the Subto community, please look out for the expired listing badge that we will be building in Q2 of 2024 so that you can get that badge as a Subto community member. Guys, as always, thank you so much. Please subscribe and please like the video, share it with somebody else that maybe is struggling and needs to make some money right now, and we'll see you in the next video.